Welcome to the Intuitive Empire Podcast, the place for coaches, healers, network marketers, and awakened souls who are all about creating success on their own terms. We are here to rise, and in doing so, we must honor our sensitive selves, activate our intuition, and lead with light. We are the ones we've been waiting for, the change makers, wayseers, and trailblazers. Join me, Jaya Rose, as we step fully into luminous leadership and create epic, intuitive empires that serve the highest good of all. Ready? Let's go. Yo, 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 let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Intuitive Empire Podcast. I'm your host, Jaya Rose, and I am officially on one today. I'm seriously on one. I'm going to do my best to keep it together while I share this story with you. But first, I have announcements, okay? I really want to share these things with you right off the bat so I do not forget. Number one, I have a brand new freebie coming out today. It is hot off the press, and it is by far the most valuable freebie I have created. It is so fucking good, okay? And it's called 11 Days of Magnetic Abundance Activation. And that is exactly what it is here to do, is to activate your magnetic abundance. What is magnetic abundance, you ask? Well, my version of magnetic abundance, well, and it is my version because I created this. I created this idea of magnetic abundance. And what it really means to me is aligned. It's ultimately aligned because when you're aligned, you are magnetic. People want to be around other people who are in flow and who are centered and who have depth within the knowing of who they are. And when you have that inside of your business and you have the soul alignment on your soul mission, well, then there is nothing short of abundance. Abundance is available to you at all times. And I truly believe this. And so my teaching of abundance may be a little different. It's not just about money, but it's really about being in flow and about being in the energy, co-creating with the universe. And I believe the universe is abundant, period. It is an abundant place. And when we're disconnected from the feeling of abundance and flow, we are not tapped in to the universal powers that be. And so this is the process I'm going to take you through. Over 11 days, you're going to receive a prompt or an affirmation every day in your messenger inbox. It's so convenient, it's so fun, and it's really incredibly powerful, yet simple. And all you need to do to opt in for this is to go below in the show notes. I will have a link for you. I will also have both of the things I'm going to tell you about in my link tree. My link tree is on my Instagram, on my business page on Facebook, and my personal page on Facebook. You can find pretty much all the things that I offer all the time. Okay, so that's number one, 11 days of magnetic abundance activation. Get it, get it, get it. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see it and do it and be it and share it with me and share it with your friends. Just share it out. Let's make this a movement around connecting with ourselves, the alignment and the power of the universe and our own magnetic abundance. Okay. That's number one. Number two is that part of what we're going to talk about today is really about our soul journey and how we can share our gifts and magic more in the world. And in this, I've had some massive downloads coming through, and I'm going to be doing a free training this week. And I believe it's going to be on Thursday. And I believe it's going to be on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm getting better because I did not know this before. But what I want you to do is just opt in to the list on my messenger where I tell you I always invite you into my trainings, and then I send you the replay. So that's the best thing to do. And you can click the link that says free trainings in my link tree or below in the show notes. And this will opt you in to my messenger bot, where then I message you and say, hey girl, I am going live. Here's the link to go with me. And you don't have to like opt in or do your email and all that business. It's so simple and easy. Okay, this is going to be incredibly powerful. What I'm going to break down for you in this training is what I call your soul story, how to identify when your actual soul path aligned with your human path, and how that affects you and your soul mission, and how you can show up in a more authentic and powerful way inside of your story, and how you also have the ability to free yourself from the bondage that is created when we go through things in our life that don't feel good. Maybe they're traumatic, or they feel like they imprinted possibly something negative on you, but it's the thing that you really learned the most from, and the thing that you most likely developed a serious passion for helping other people with. And I'm going to help you identify this, and I'm going to do this by sharing with you my soul story. And it's the first time I am sharing this in public ever. And it's going to be vulnerable. It's going to be powerful. And I highly recommend you try to be there for the live training. But if not, and you sign up for the free trainings link, you will receive the replay. Okay. So that was the other one. Okay. One more. I actually had three. The other thing is that I'm hosting a live workshop in Portland, Oregon on March 17th, and it's called Supercharge Receiving Your Desires. And it's all about a 6-step system that I use over and over again for creating my desires, getting through the resistance, and opening up to receiving it. So it's going to be so awesome. And I can tell you that the women who have already signed up, I'm like obsessed with, and I just want to hang out with them. It's going to be such a cool opportunity to connect with other like-minded, powerful women. So if you're in Portland, Oregon, or you're anywhere near Portland, Oregon, you got to get yourself here for this 2-hour workshop. It's only $59 or 2 tickets for $99. It's incredibly affordable because I want everybody who's interested to be able to come and share this space with me. If you've never been live in person with me, I will share with you that that is definitely where all the magic happens. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. All the rest of it happens all the other places. Okay. So, that is also in my link tree, but I'll also put that for you below. Okay, so I'm giving you so much homework, and we have not even dove into this super powerful episode of the Intuitive Empire podcast, but you have your 11 days of magnetic abundance activation you're going to opt in for. You also have the free trainings you're going to opt in for, and you have this event if you're anywhere near Portland, or if you happen to know anybody who is and you have a friend in Portland, please share this with them. I would be so grateful and honored. Okay. Are you ready to rock? Let me drink my water because, woo, I feel the fire. Do you feel the fire? All right. So check it out. This is what's going on. Today, it's Monday, and it was a late start for my daughter who's in kindergarten, and we usually have to get up at 7 to take her to school. But I dream from 7 to 8. So the days that I get up at 7, I don't get to dream. It's like I get the deepest sleep and the most dreams at this time. It's just wild. And today, because it was a late start, we all went back to sleep. And I ended up sleeping till 9:15, which is just bonkers to me. But the most powerful dream came to me, and I know that it has to do with unraveling these barriers that stand between us and sharing our magic and our gifts with the world in the most bold and profound way possible. Because the dream was basically like a nightmare, and I have had very few nightmares in my life. It's actually strange, it's noteworthy. And the entire precipice, no, that's not the right word. The entire point of the dream is that I was being chased by these people, and I didn't know why, but I had so much fear, and I was running from them, and I was just trying to find a safe place until at near the end of the dream, right before I woke up, I found somebody who was helping me, and I saw the people who were looking for me, and they were right behind me, and I could hear what they said. And they said, "We need to convert her. We need her to stop using these essential oils, stop believing in magic, stop sharing this stuff. She needs to be converted." And I was in the dream listening and feeling like, oh my God, they're trying to take my magic and my gifts away from me. That's what they want from me. And they're not going to stop until they get it. And then I woke up and I realized this fear of sharing my gifts has been there my whole life. I feel such a deep intensity right now as I'm sharing this with you. And I just know that you can relate. And what I want to share with you is that it's not you. It's not me. And that we are carrying so much more fear and shame and guilt than is ours. It's not ours to carry. And that's what I really got from this. I got this, this is not about breaking through. It's about rising up. That's what I felt like I could do in that dream. I felt like I need to rise above this because I couldn't fight them. There was like 6 people or something. And it wasn't like I could just ignore the fear. And that's what I want to say to you is that if you find yourself playing small and not fully owning your spirituality or your gifts, your intuition, or what I call your innate magic, which is the true essence of who you are and your power. And if you aren't fully owning that, I want to just give you permission right now to release the idea that you need to play small, or even the idea that you have to break through some limiting beliefs around this, because you may have developed limiting beliefs. But the truth of the matter is that it's possible to just let go. It's possible to rise above these old paradigms that are creating this bondage for us. I mean, let's get real about what it's been like to be a woman in history and what it's been like to be a woman who has intuition or sight or power ultimately. And to look back and say, of course there's fear. Of course there's fear about sharing your gifts on the internet, about doing live videos or creating courses, creating an empire around your intuition. We are the fucking pioneers. Who else have you seen do this? It's right now. This is so relevant. This is so current. And you can look at the other leaders who have created really big results in their industry. But they did go first, and it's very different now. So the way that Gabby Bernstein built her business, the way that Danielle Laporte or Marie Forleo, who are all these like icons in this spiritual entrepreneur industry, we have to get really real with the fact that the way they did it is not the way that we're going to do it. That was a while ago. They all started at least 10 years ago. And if you've started in the last 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, just starting, we can no longer look for these models of business that we think will work, these strategies that will work. We are being asked to come home to ourselves, to our intuition, and use our full creative power to create what we want to see in our businesses, to do it completely your own way. And I believe in mentorship, but I believe in mentorship from people who are current and like doing it now. Well, what does it really mean now to use social media? Now that you can look at the industry and people use the word oversaturated, it looks like it's oversaturated. And so that can feel even more intimidating. But this is how you do it. You raise your own vibration, you heal your own wounds, and you look at this archetypal ancient lineage of fear that has been implanted in you, and allow yourself to disconnect from it. Allow yourself to recognize that you're carrying the weight of your mother, of your grandmother, of her mother, of her mother, and her mother, and that now you are rising above all of those limitations that they felt around themselves, their power, and their own magic and gifts. And that's a huge job. Like, This is really serious. It is no joke to ascend and to rise above what you've never even seen. You've never felt it. You're creating new cells, you're creating new beliefs and new ways of being in your own life. And you're probably doing it for your whole family. So, first of all, I just want to honor you and say, I am so here for you. I am doing the exact same work with you. And that as you honor it more, it's twofold, really. It's honor your magic and your gifts. This is what it's about. This is what I teach in my Embody program. This is what is the core of all of my teaching, is to come back to who you truly are, your authentic power and your magic and gifts, and to share those in the biggest way possible, make the biggest impact and biggest income doing it. And that's what's at the core of all of my work, even through all of the pivots I've done. And so that is something to focus on, and to focus on being so kind to yourself and being in acceptance and love for the pace that it's going, for the results that you're getting. And the way to build an intuitive empire is to create depth in the love you have for yourself, because your intuition thrives in love. It does not thrive in fear. And you've seen this in your life, haven't you? You feel disconnected. You don't feel in flow. You aren't getting intuitive downloads because you're stuck in fear. And fear is the opposite of love. And so as you come back to love and understanding that you're doing really big work, that just the willingness you have to show up and to untangle all of this past lineage and to figure out what's yours and what you can claim and how to rise, that is so big. And that requires a lot of what I call in the Embody program, sacred self-care. And that's the root. At the root chakra says, I am safe in my purpose. And so this is really root chakra work. And that's why so many people are going back to the drawing board. They've already built multiple six-figure businesses and they're like throwing it all away because they're going back to the root chakra and saying, what is my actual spiritual path? What is my soul mission? And how do I align with that? And how do I believe in it even more? And it has everything to do with your root. Your root chakra, if not taken care of and if not held, like that's what your root, right? Roots, what do they need to grow? What do they need to be strong? They need water. They need stability. They need consistency. And that's what sacred self-care does in your life. It creates that stability for you. It's not anything else. It's not certainty around money. And this is where your trust in yourself and your trust in your faith comes from. So I want to give you this little nugget to just say, come home to yourself and to the truth of who you are, and who you are is safe. You are safe in your purpose. And to trust that on such a deep level that when you take it up, in the Embody program, we move up the chakras. And as we move up and we get to the heart chakra and the throat chakra, and we're telling our stories and we're being visible, and we're showing up in the world as that leader you've always been meant to be, it needs to come from those roots. And you need to feel the safety within yourself of owning your magic and owning your power and being truly authentic to who you are in this. Because otherwise, when we get up to vision, we just start having all these ideas and then none of them come to fruition, or they just kind of flop and they don't ever seem as powerful as you thought they would be. Well, this is really important to identify, because if you're not actually putting the stuff out into the world, you're missing that step of truly honoring your gifts. If people are not benefiting from your gifts and your magic, you are playing too small. If you are not able to support yourself, you've been playing too small. Now, of course, there's going to be a period in time where you shift that and it doesn't all shift at once. So I'm not saying you have to be able to support yourself right now or you're playing too small. Maybe you're growing and you're out there and you're doing it, but to identify that you were playing small, because when you have a tendency to play small and hide your gifts, you will continue to have that tendency. And it's about recognizing it and creating this relationship with yourself where you can get out of the sabotaging ways, where you can get out of your own way and continue to show up. And that's what I feel this dream really meant. Is it said, Jaya, you know that this is your path. You know that this is your soul path. This is what your soul story supports. And you need to share this message because there are other women, intuitive women, highly sensitive women who have these gifts, who have this magic in them, and they really need to hear this. They need to hear that they are safe in their purpose and that the fear they hold is more than just theirs, and to give them permission to release it, to release the fear and to say it is not just yours. You do not have to hold it alone. The universe is here to hold this for you. Release it out into the universe and do your work with God or spirit and really show up for that connection, because that's where you get to transcend these physical and human needs to hold on, to hold on. We don't have to hold on when we go into the spiritual world. We get to let go. We get to release. We get to surrender and ultimately trust. And that means that you really need to create the relationship between the human ego self that wants to hold on and the true nature of who you are, who is able to release and rise. It feels so clear to me what this time in history is about. It is so much bigger than us. It is so much bigger than us. And when you feel called to share a positive message, you need to listen to that. And when you feel called to lead, you need to listen to that. It is so much bigger than you. And your job is to get out of your own way. And in doing that, I know you may hear that and it sounds like, but how do I get out of my own way? And I can tell you the best way to get out of your own way is to have a deep commitment that you are here for something bigger than you. And then to allow the guidance to come through and follow that guidance and take care of your physical being, to do the sacred self-care, to not allow your cortisol levels to spike up and keep you, not sleeping or holding a bunch of weight on, and to really take care of our physical self, to keep your nervous system nice and calm. As a highly sensitive, intuitive, or gifted woman, this is the work to do on the physical level to be able to have the space and the capacity to hold for shifting these big fears and these old patterns. So that's why I'm so passionate about embodiment, about the idea of taking these beautiful spiritual practices and making them tangible and real, because it's not without practice that we shift these huge patterns. I feel like we need to all hold hands and just, I'm holding hands with you. This is like a digital / cosmic circle that we're creating here. I want you to know, as you're listening to my voice right now, that you're not the only one listening. And you're not the only one feeling how you feel, that we are all one and we are connected, and we are all being asked to rise and to show up big. To show up big in our magic and lead the way for the next generation, for our daughters, for our sons. And they should not have to do this. That's my goal. I don't want my kids to have to unravel this shit. This is not theirs to do. I have stepped up as a leader in this space, and so have you. And if you haven't, I believe that's what you're doing. That's the responsibility we're taking on. We're saying, yes, I will unravel this. I will look at the it's not decades, it's like centuries of women being oppressed and women being burned at the stake for having sight. This is all a part of our lineage and history. And of course, it feels intense as we rise above that. So knowing that it's you're the one you've been waiting for. You're the one who has not only the responsibility, but the ability to do this work, and to know that as you step into this fully, you will be compensated. The law of divine compensation states that as you give value, you receive value. So showing up and giving more and being more generous with your gifts and really sharing them for free is such a beautiful representation of this divine compensation, because it will come back. And you can see that the people that you look up to online, who you love their content, or you listen to their podcast or watch their Instagram stories, and it's because they're showing up and they're giving value and they're giving you some type of inspiration and or knowledge. So knowing that that is it. That's it. Is like, share your magic, share your gifts, and you will be compensated. Be generous. You will be compensated. And I feel like that's really all I have to say today. Is this is just a real wake up call. And I find that sort of humorous, because I woke up out of this dream with this clarity of, holy crap, like that's some old fear. What is that fear? Why do I have that fear? And in releasing it, what does it allow me to do? How does it allow me to stand up, step up, and be more bold in who I am and what I know I'm meant to do? It's so juicy. It's so powerful. And I hope that this really touched you. I feel like it is. I feel like I can vibrate the feeling with you right now. I would be so honored if you would share this with somebody who you feel like needs it. Share it on social media or privately if you want to with somebody, but getting the word out about what is possible and about what it really takes to be a leader in these times and to fully live in your spiritual being is so important. And I would just really be grateful if you would do that. I would also be so grateful if this podcast touches you in any way, if you would rate it and review it. I've been meaning to ask for that because it does help the podcast get out in front of more people. And I just really appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate you showing up for yourself and your own magic and gifts. You are doing more than you possibly can imagine. And the ripple effect is real. It is real, and it's what it's all about. So trust in that. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time on the Intuitive Empire podcast. Yay. Thanks so much for listening and being here. And if you loved this episode, please take a moment to rate it on iTunes. I feel so honored when I read your reviews, and I would love to feature you on the podcast as a spotlight review. Also, find me on Instagram at Jaya Rose, and I would be so excited to share your story into my story. I just love seeing the feedback and that you're listening. So share it out on social media, share it with somebody who you think it could benefit, because us showing up for other people is what this is all about. It's a ripple effect of change, and we do that by sharing. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time on Bliss Boss Talks.